Hey guys, this is totally different than my usual video introduction. We started this video, it was going to be about a cheap tactical shotgun, and that's the Tristar Cobra, and our experience with it and how we finally got the extended magazine tube to work on one. There's a lot of people on the internet trying but not succeeding. I succeeded. Anyhow, I got going on that, and just the way I introduced it with a whole bunch of shotguns you're gonna see, it ended up more or less a how I got into guns thing with my first shotgun. Through all the shotguns I own, I found out one thing. Shotguns are pretty important to me. They hold some great memories. I go through my first shotgun, you'll see the Vepr, you'll see the VR80, you'll see the Beretta 1301, and you'll see some gunsmithing and some shooting on the Tristar. So bear with me. There's not a ton of shooting, but it's spread out through there. Hopefully you enjoy the story and me reminiscing a little bit and going through some of these. You're gonna see a beautiful, beautiful shotgun at the beginning. I probably talked too much about it, but anyhow, like I'm talking too much now. Anyhow, come on, check it out, see what you think, and don't worry. We're still into AKs. Got some beautiful 40-round Bakelites today. Anyhow, come on, check it out. Hey guys, welcome back to the Rockford Ordnance, bringing you a video today on shotguns. Shotguns is, for me, where it all began. So you probably can't tell from the channel, being as we kind of centralize around AKs and a few other things. But my background since my, before I was 10 years old, was shooting shotguns, shooting trap. My first gun was a shotgun. And this video, like the title says, is about an inexpensive tactical shotgun and the story behind it and what I've done to it to kind of bring it up to par. So we've got our Tristar Cobra here, and we're gonna try out the extension tube for the first time. Got some Winchester 00 buck here, 2 3/4, and we're gonna load them up here. I think we'll get 7 plus 1, that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh wow, we got 8 in there, so 8 plus 1, I guess. Let's rack one in. See if we get the... Yeah, the Winchester barely fits 8 plus 1. So let's see how this sucker runs, huh? Not bad. This is literally the first time I've run this gun since new. It was a little sticky there, but maybe we'll throw a little lube on it, see if it runs better. We'll give it one more shot. That was fun. But I've done some other videos recently on shotguns, including our Beretta, and we've got the VR80, and we've got our Vepr, and I just love shotguns, and it wasn't until I looked in the rack and saw all the shotguns that it kind of hit me. Hey, you really have this penchant or adoration for shotguns in general. And I thought, what better time to kind of show you guys where it all began. Besides, other few guys were asking about if I could show some of the old wooden shotguns and stuff. Well, I got 1 or 2 of those, but a lot of other cool stuff. And we're going to go through them just real quick. Then we're going to get into this new tactical shotgun. Not new, I've had it a while, but what we did to it. Needed some gunsmithing. As it turns out, I was filming the video and showing you guys how cool and awesome this thing was, and then it breaks on camera. But we'll get into that. Just want to start off, I guess, where it all started. So, I had shotguns, but they were always my father's, and I think this was my 14th birthday. He got me this Remington 870. It's a WINGMASTer, and it's an 870 B grade, meaning the wood. So they come A, B, and C as far as WINGMASTers go. Then there's the field grade too, that would have just a single bead. This has the double bead because it's got the vent rib trap barrel. This gun then, I guess, dates back to, oh boy, gotta be 79 or so. But if you look close at this gun, it's literally like the day I bought it. Let me see if I can get up close, because you have to really appreciate this bluing compared to the next gun I'm going to show you. So here's the wood on this gun. Got that typical high gloss Remington wood. And we'll show you the other side. This is really something. Look at that wood. I mean, it's just gorgeous. And the only thing, there's been a couple things changed on this gun, one being the pad. Had the that orangish reddish rubber X pattern Remington pad, and this is a Kickies, I believe. Yeah, Kickies. Really nice pad if you're looking for a pad. Very soft, professionally installed. If you know how to do it, fine, I can do a video on it for you. If not, have somebody do it so you don't mess up your gun. These were still pressed checkering, but just gorgeous wood. Look at the fore end on this thing. Let's see if I can get it without glare. There you go. And the other side's really nice. You just don't see these guns anymore or anything like them, you know. Now let's look at the bluing on this. Now keep in mind, 79, 89, 99, 2009, 2000. This gun's 40 some years old, but it's pushing 50 years old, guys. And look at this gun. Look at the bluing. The bolts were left in the white, and trap rib barrel with the ivory front sight, and it's got a 30-inch trap barrel. This was my first gun. I remember going to the gun shop with my dad, and he hung out there a lot. This was a really cool gun shop in a high-end area, and they carried really nice stuff. They had a side room with all the higher-end hunting guns and shotguns. Now, 870's not a high-end gun, but it's kind of where they kept the shotguns, the trap guns, things like that. And hey, for a Remington, this is about as high-end as it comes, right? But it was in this little side room, and they had wall racks, and it was all lined in green felt, and it was just, as a kid, just an impressive room to walk into. You know, you'd walk in and wow, and it smelled good, you know, like oil and steel and wood and leather even. And the racks were kind of up higher like this. So I remember looking up at it, and to this day I remember it had a price tag right here, and it was marked at $325. And my dad was really heavy at this point into trap shooting, and he wanted me to get a gun for my birthday. And one day we walked in there, and I walked in to see my gun that's in there that I was saving for, and it was gone. And I walked out of the room kind of like worried that somebody got my gun, and my dad was at the counter with it in the box and smiling and said happy birthday. And that was it. So my first real gun of my own. Now, this gun has had tens, maybe hundreds of thousands, I don't know, of trap rounds through it. What have we done to it other than replace the pad? It has a mercury reducer in the stock. It's a little capsule that has liquid mercury in it, and because of the flow of the mercury, it absorbs some of the recoil. So it's a really soft shooting gun. The forcing cones have been lengthened, and it's a full choke, but it's been opened up just a hair. So I shoot from 27 yards. and I shoot a lot of money games, so we're shooting anywhere 27 to 35 yards sometimes. But this gun is perfect. We shoot a pretty fast round to get out there at that yardage and win some money. You guys, you've probably seen it a million times, but if you look in the background right here, you'll see a little mech reloader here that I just got, but behind it under that red cover, that's a Posnus Warren progressive shotgun shell reloader. And that machine right there has made a couple 100,000 shells probably. We reloaded nothing but federal paper. That's what we shot, and I pulled that handle until my shoulder fell off for the time I was 10 to God knows when. I still pull it. It needs some adjustments right now, but my dad passed it to me, and I'm going to use it. I got the mech now because we're going to start loading some buckshot and some other cool stuff, some cool rounds with that, and it's nice to have the little machine. Anyhow, yeah, so forcing cones lengthened and the choke opened up a little bit. Over the years, there's a little spring here that helps eject the shell. I must have been, you know, shooting fast double or something, and I cocked it forward and that spring jammed and bent and broke off. Never replaced it. Yes, it helps kick the shells out a little bit more, and this is a common breakage on 870s, guys. But to fix it, if there's enough of the stub left there, they make a kit, you can fix it, and I just haven't tried it. I think it's got enough of the stub left, but I thought we did it once. So anyways, the reason I don't fix it is there's a pin here. It would have to be driven out, redone, drilled back in, sanded down, ruin the bluing, all of that stuff. So I've decided just to keep it like this. I use it for trap mostly, although I've hunted a lot of pheasants. This gun came with me on every pheasant hunt until last year. Last year, me and my son decided to go pheasant hunting. He had kept a card from a guy we met years ago, and he came down and said, "Dad, you want to go pheasant hunting?" And I said, "Oh man, would I love to." I said, "I wish we knew who that guy was." And he said, "I kept the card." He had kept this card 5 years in his wallet. He says, "I got it." He ran upstairs, came down, we called him. He said, "Sure, come on out hunting." And money was a little tight, so I didn't want to tell the wife. But I took care of it, and we went out there, told her we were going hunting on a friend's property. But you had to pay to hunt at this place. They're wild birds, but it's a nice place. He breeds birds there, and we hunt a back property where some of them that have gotten out over the years, they're basically wild. They've been out there so long, and he's got a dog and everything. So me and my son went out, and when it was time for his first gun, this is going back years before this, he was about 10 or 11, maybe 8, 9, 10, somewhere in there. What else? What did we get him but an 870? And this is a youth model Remington 870 Express Magnum. So you can see kind of, you know, when you're not talking, what do you call it? The, geez, WINGMASTer. You know, they come in a, this is like a parked finish, but they're nowhere near as nice. Laminate wood, it's probably hollow core or press board for all I know. But just a field gun, single bead, 20 gauge, youth stock, little pad. I remember him shooting this the first time, and all of a sudden I see the lip start shaking and the tears, and he was trying to hold it back because it hurt him so bad. He was a little shrimp, and it really kicked him. I said, "Come on," and I shot it, and I went, "Oh my God," because it's so light, this thing kicks. My 12 gauge is 100 times better, so he ended up trusting me and shooting that, and then he never wanted to shoot this again. But he had shot pheasants with this on a few pheasant hunts over the year, but this was just too small for him this time. I mean, he was 6'4", and I had an idea, and we set up the pheasant hunt, and I ran out and I bought a side-by-side that I liked for bird hunting, and not an expensive gun. I'll bring you a video on it. I can't remember the brand name right now, but anyhow, I gifted him that 870, and he thought it was just for the hunt, but no, I wanted him to have it. I was going to upgrade my trap gun. I have upgraded trap guns, trust me, that I'm not even going to show you on this channel. But anyhow, yeah, that was his, and I had my side-by-side. So We went pheasant hunting and had a great time, got a bunch of birds, and I'll throw a picture in here of us after that hunt. Some of you may know he passed away in July unexpectedly at the age of 22, and it's been really hard, really hard to take, but this kind of stuff helps. I'm holding his gun here, you know, that we went on all these great hunts with. So anyhow, that's where it all began, with 870s. So I really hadn't bought another shotgun, a couple trap competition guns, really high-end stuff, but those were simply for trap. So when I got back into things, started buying some stuff, and the next shotgun I bought was this, and this is what this video is about. This is a Cobra, a Tristar Cobra. So we've got our Tristar Cobra here, and we're gonna try out the extension tube for the first time. Got some Winchester 00 buck here, 2 3/4, and we're gonna load them up here. I think we'll get 7 + 1, that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh wow, we got 8 in there, so 8 + 1, I guess. Let's rack one in. See if we get the... Yeah, the Winchester barely fits 8 + 1. So let's see how this sucker runs, huh? Not bad. This is literally the first time I've run this gun since new. It was a little sticky there, but maybe we'll throw a little lube on it, see if it runs better. We'll give it one more shot. That was fun. So it was Christmas time, and for Christmas I got a $200 gift card from Cabela's. And right after Christmas, ran to Cabela's, gonna buy some gun-related gear or ammo or whatever, but really wanted a gun. You know, you go there, I want a gun, but what can you get for $200, you know? And I'm looking on the rack, and I see this, and I wanted a self-defense shotgun for the house, you know, with the extended tube. And this is not in stock form right now. It came with an extended tube, but it was a faux extended tube. So I didn't know that. I bought it. It was $199 or $150 or something. It was crazy cheap. These are made in Turkey. They've been out a long time. This Cobra has come in a few iterations that they've put out, but essentially the same gun. Maybe they changed the stock a little or something. But other than that, it's been the same gun. And I got it home. I'm all excited to jam a whole bunch of shells in there, and it won't go. I figure, oh, there must be a plug. I take the plug out, still can't get them in. What they had done was, just after the barrel nut here, this is not the stock one, but they had necked that tube down just enough to where shells wouldn't go in. So I'm online looking for a solution, and couldn't, well, a bunch of guys had a bunch of solutions. They said, well, I took the tube off, and one guy had taken a long socket and driven it down through it, because it's like aluminum or something, and opened it up a bit and got a longer spring, and it works great. And all this advice about guys doing different stuff, I couldn't do it. I could not get the magazine tube out of the receiver. I tried heat, I tried everything, to the point where I was scarring it up, and then I finally crushed it a bit. And at that point, I said, screw it. I tossed the gun in the corner of the garage over here, and there it lay for the last 8 years or so. Laying there. Another time then, I picked it up out of the corner, and I thought, what am I gonna do with this thing? Well, you couldn't even take it apart because the way it was built, that faux tube and everything, it was just weird the way it was built. I couldn't take it apart. So there were threads here, and I thought, well, if I cut it off right at the threads and leave enough threads, I could put probably a barrel nut on there, like an 870 one. And I tried an 870 cap, and it fit. Not perfect, but it did go down tight all the way. Everything was good. I thought, okay. So I hacksawed off at the top of it. Now the spring comes out and everything. There was no way to get it out before. There was no stopper, nothing. It was put together when it was pressed in, and that was that. So now I've got it with no extension on it. I can put a cap on it, and it'll run as a regular shotgun now without an extension, and that was that. And I read about guys getting extensions, and they said none of them fit. Guy said he bought one for an 870, put it on, first shots he took, it came flying off. The thread was just a hair different of all the different brands. And I watched it and would research it for a couple years looking for a fix. And it laid in the corner again for a whole bunch of years. So we'll get back to this gun in a second. I want to go through these others, and then we'll tell you what happened and how this thing is running now. So after that, my next shotgun purchase was the Vepr. And you guys that know these guns, these things are awesome. And I think I outfitted it right. I kept the standard Vepr grip because it's big and nice and angled, and it just helps you support the weight of this gun, and it's very front heavy. It has a folding stock. These came three ways. They came as a fixed stock, a folding stock, or what looked like a folding stock, but a little tack weld here. And you just nip that with a Dremel and tap it with a hammer, and boom. Then there was also a version where it looked like a folding stock like this, but they ran a weld all the way, and those you really couldn't do anything with. So these were finally, the import was banned, not due to the shotgun, but due to other political reasons with Russia. So no more of these coming in. There's still some new ones available, so if you look hard enough, you'll find some. And the price isn't too nutso. It's nowhere near as cheap as they were, but not too nutso. It has this adjustable pad that you can put to the left, to the right, wherever you want. There's some debate as to where it should be. When you're shooting it with those stock sights, it's all the way down and you're right on it. But when you have an optic, you put it up and it's perfect optic height. I had this 512 EOTech laying around, and frankly it's perfect on this gun, and it looks kind of cool. And it works great. It's super fast and works great. They come with 5-round mags. This is a 10-round, a real MOLOT mag where this shotgun comes from. These by far run the best. I've got aftermarket CS spec. I forget the other name. They make some polymer ones that for me run really good. All of them run good for me, but with the work I've done to it, but these always run, and they run anything. So this gun, when I got it, wouldn't run light shells, and I did a lot of work to it. Some of them will run out of the box. This one was just really tough. Couldn't get it to run. I slicked and I did, and ended up, I replaced a bunch of parts in it and did my magic on it, and believe it or not, this gun, I think I said in the other video, this gun ran 2.5 dram shells at a demo shoot a couple weeks ago. I saw those shells when I got there, and my heart sank because my gun was going to be one of the demo guns there, and I thought, nobody's going to be able to shoot it because they ain't going to run these shells. Well, it ran them friggin' perfect. The only other thing, we've got TDI arms. Shout out to these guys, TDI, great guys, and they help us out a whole bunch, and they make really nice stuff. It's super light, billet aluminum, hand guard, and works out great. Fits really well. And then we have a factory MOLOT muzzle brake. There's clones of these running around. If you look close, you can tell, but this is an original one. It's huge and it weighs a bunch, but boy does it work. And this whole gun just works really nice. Cool gun, and real soon here these are going to be pretty rare. It's got double-sided safety. You can work with either side. Got it over here too. Decent trigger on it, and it'll lock open. So cool gun. So from there, that was my combat shotgun, and I shot 3-gun with it for quite a while until I stumbled across this thing in a shop, the VR80. And for those of you that watch my channel, and there's a ton of fans of the VR80 out there, my VR80 videos just, man, people watch those things. Anyhow, I bought this on a whim, and it ran out of the box way better than the Vepr. And since then, these guns have gotten really popular with the 3-gun crowd for competition, and so there's a lot of aftermarket support for them. Everything from hand guards to different barrel shrouds, muzzle brakes, trigger systems, stocks, all kinds of stuff. Comes with a crazy, I think I got it here, but there's other parts in there. I don't want to pull them out everywhere. Anyhow, comes with what looks like a thumb hole stock, but it's kind of space age. And you can replace it with, you know, just similar AR stuff. 5-round mags, 9-round mags, which if you work the follower like this, can turn it to a 10-round mag, and then 19-round mags, and they make a drum for it as well. I've done cleaning videos on these, how to take the bolt apart, how to get them running the light shells, just about all kinds of stuff. If you guys want to see other videos on any of these guns specifically, I'd be happy to do it. It operates pretty similar to an AR. Yeah, mag release, the whole 9 yards. It's not the same, it's kind of like an AR. Mag pull, grip, etc. But really cool gun. I run a Holosun 510C on this usually. Works great. A lot of fun. We're going to get you some more videos on this thing either way. And I think we'll do some shooting with all of them and compare them all in a video. And then that, of course, led to my favorite and my newest, and that is this Beretta 1301 Tactical, and it's awesome. I called this thing LE version in the other video, and you guys gotta excuse me, that's wrong. It's not an LE version. It's set up like one. There's really not much difference other than well, there's some debate on the chokes, if they have chokes or not, but this one doesn't. Really don't care. I don't need chokes on this gun. Some 3-gun guys, they'll say, well, you need a full choke for this. I had a ton of guys ask me about that Vepr. I was pounding some targets, and they said, I can't believe you were hitting them that hard with the cylinder bore. I said, yeah, no big deal. I mean, anyhow, this thing is my all-time favorite. I just love this gun, and it's fast, it's light, and it's awesome. Anyhow, that's kind of my shotgun deal there, and it started there, so you know, why not bring them to you? Anyhow, back to my $199 shotgun. So, sat in the corner for years because I had it in my head that I was gonna, come hell or high water, get make that mag tube work. Got rid of it. I'm walking through a big box store one day, and I see, I think they're Anderson or Nielsen, it's some Swedish name that makes this extension. I'll get you the name and put it in the comments. And they had one there for an 870. I knew the cap fit, and I thought, what the hell, for 40 bucks I'll try it. I brought it home, and it screwed on. It wasn't the right thread, because when you got about 5, 6, 7 threads in, it got a little tight. But it kept going, and the only problem was when I got it super tight, there was still a little gap here, so the barrel could move a little. So I'm like, well, I'm gonna either just reef this thing down and strip it, or it'll work, one of the two. So I just cranked on it and it went all the way down. I can take it on and off. Came with this to clamp them together. So essentially it's just how it came, but working now instead of the fake one. And finally I was gonna get to shoot it. The cool thing about this gun, it's got a 20-inch barrel, just a standard polymer stock, cheapy, hollow. You can hear that, right? Pretty much kind of like an 870, right? I mean, the same pins that hold the trigger group in, same place for the slide release, same cross bolt safety, whole 9 yards, right? But the one cool thing is when you cock it, normally you'd slide it back forward to put it in the battery, right? Well, this, you just let go. It's spring loaded. You can see a big spring in here that's around the mag tube. So it's spring assisted. Now, thought that was really cool, right? And everybody that sees it says, oh, that's kind of neat. Yeah, it's cool to show you guys and to demonstrate it, but as you'll see in the video here, it's slow. Because frankly, if you're shooting fast, like in this, I shoot a clay bird and I'm moving to the next one, I cock it, I let it go, well then I have to re-obtain my grip again. So it's faster just to pump it. Yes, the spring will assist it back, so maybe that helps it be a little faster, but to just let it go, nah, much slower that way. So yeah, it helps. It's an assist, I guess, but it's kind of like a cheapy aluminum or alloy 870. Loading gate is decent. Everything's pretty good on it. Decent trigger. It can feel a hair mushy at times, but not bad. It's fired every shell. I mean, I've never missed a beat with it. Maybe sometimes you can hear the mush in this thing. You hear it's not like a solid click, it's poke. I don't know. Anyhow, but it works every time. We put this sling on here. This thing's kind of cool because you can go from tight like this to open like that, make it longer, and then to tighten it back up, you just grab the two opposite ends and pull like so, and it tightens it back up again. Kind of a neat sling. And it's got a thumb hole here, so you can use that thumb hole to open it up. Just kind of neat. So we took it out. You see in the video, it shoots well and everything, and I'm, you know, giving it high marks in the video, and all of a sudden, not bad. I think it runs faster manually cycling it. Not bad. Oh, we lost our front sight post. Came off. Looks like it was soldered on. Let's see if we can find it. Yep, that's right, guys. The sight, front sight flew right off of it. So it's got this blade sight right here. It's the only sight on the gun, nothing back here, not a rear sight, anything, just this blade sight. And as I said in that part of the video there, I was going to paint it fluorescent. Well, now when I fixed it, I painted it red. And yes, I just flagged myself, but it was unloaded and we had just done that a million times, right? Anyhow, so the sight flew off. If you look at the picture, you'll see on the sight when I'm holding it here that there's some corrosion there. Well guys, I found our front sight. There it is. It looks like maybe it didn't have the best adhesion, but we will have to reapply said sight. I was going to color in the front of it there with fluorescent, but now we'll have to worry about getting it on there well so it doesn't pop off. Little solder, we should be good. Well, front sights like this are silver soldered on, or should be silver soldered on. And in this case, I think they didn't do such a great job cleaning it up, and some corrosion developed under there. Well, you know, rust forms, and as the oxidation happens, the material, the steel, gets larger as it corrodes. And as it started to corrode, I think it was just enough to popped it right off with the shock of maybe those 3-inch magnums that was shooting out of this thing. But yeah, it popped off, and you could see the little bit of corrosion there. So I was gonna make a gunsmithing video on this, on how we put it back together, but you know, your hands are so full soldering and everything, it just seemed like a hassle. So I'll tell you how it went. Essentially, I didn't want to ruin the finish on here. And the finish, as you can see in that picture, was there was just a rectangle here left. So I was real careful, took some memory cloth, took that all the way down. There was a lot of silver solder on there, had to get it all off. Same with the sight. So we really just had to clean it up really, really well, both pieces, the sight and the barrel. And then when I was done, I made sure I had all the silver solder off that was on there before. I wrapped a piece of real thin paper around the barrel, and then I put a piece of emery cloth around the barrel, and then I just rubbed the sight on that emery cloth to get the profile of the barrel on the sight, just to make sure they would meet absolutely perfect. From there, I cleaned them both with acetone, both sides. Then I broke out the flux, put some flux on each one, and I tried the sight out first. So I clamped the sight in a vise. Actually, I clamped it in a vise grip, and then the vise grip in a sight, because you don't want to clamp it directly to a vise. It'll act as a heat sink and not get hot enough. So I then heated it up with one of those little small propane torches till the flux was bubbling, and about to that point where I just kind of know, once you solder enough, you know when it's ready. And then I just touched the silver solder down, a couple drops, kind of smeared it with the solder tip a little bit, and set the solder down while still heating it. Then I had already prepared a piece of steel wool. Steel wool comes from the factory with some oil on it to keep it from rusting in the package. So make sure you wash it real good in acetone first to get that oil off anyhow. While the solder was still hot, I then just swiped it where the silver was, the bottom of the base of the sight, just swiped it, and that pulls the extra solder off and leaves a perfect, super shiny coating of that steel of that silver on there. I compare it to like on the back of a mirror. That's what how they make mirrors. They put silver on the back to reflect, and it's just a perfect coating. That's called tinning. You have to tin your parts first. So I tinned the sight, then I did the same on the barrel. The cool thing is, silver solder will not stick to any of these finishes. Bluing, this is probably paint or park, I don't know, but it won't stick. So I did the same thing on the barrel, and then swiped it off with the steel wool, left a perfect thin coating of the silver on there as well. I was done with the torch for now, so we've got both sides, and there was flux underneath them, obviously. Then when I was ready to put it together, what's going to happen is you're going to clamp them together in a vise, and, well, not in a vise, so let me get to it here. What's going to happen is you're going to clamp them together. Now, you can't use any type of static clamp, meaning like a C-clamp or something. You need a clamp that applies pressure, but if, let's just say, if the space were to get smaller, spring-loaded, it needs to keep that pressure on even if the gap gets smaller. Because what's going to happen, you put the sight on the barrel, you clamp it in, and then you start heating it. When it heats up hot enough to melt that silver that we left the thin coating on both sides, it drops. So essentially that sight dropped just a fraction of a millimeter, and you'll see a little silver smush out the sides. It'll just go bloop, and it drops in. Now they're in contact with each other. The silver from both sides has combined into one. You take the heat off. 30 seconds later, it's cool enough where it's bonded. Take your spring clamp off and it's on. The little bit of silver that came out the sides, again, it does not stick to the finish. I just ran my fingernail along, whoop, and it came off. Some had even dripped down onto here and just, boop, it came right off. And the sight is absolutely perfect. So you guys saw a picture of it before, and here is my handiwork. If you can see it, let's see. Is it focusing? I hope so. There's the sight. You can see no damage to the finish. There is maybe a little silver in the park around it. I've got to just take a brush and brush it out of the pores of it. It's not really showing here. I don't know. Let's see. Hopefully it focuses now. But yeah, it came out great. And we also painted it red, like I said we were gonna do. Let's see. There you go. It's red now. So, all's well that ends well. I've got a much better sight picture, and you can pick it up quicker. It's straight as an arrow. It's on there like a rock. Even, you know, with the spring-loaded cocking mechanism, it puts a lot of pressure on it when you let it go, and nothing. So we're gonna take it out and fire some 3-inch Magnum slugs and make sure it stays in place this time, and should be good. But I'm pretty sure we did a better job than the factory over in Turkey did. Nothing wrong with Turkish shotguns. They're getting better and better all the time. Basically, I'm gonna say it's what the importers spec for these guys. But anyhow, $199. You saw it run there. It had been laying in the corner for at least 8 years, collecting dust. I was amazed when I took it out that there was no rust in it. But I didn't even clean the barrel. I didn't lube it. I didn't do anything. And you saw it stick there a little bit. Now that we've run some shells through it and lubed it, it's just fine. The follower here was sticking about a shell and a half length into it, and that must have been a burr from when I was messing around with it. But it's fine now, and it's only going to get better the more it wears in. So while I might not trust it like that Beretta, it is a pump, which makes it kind of foolproof. It ejects the shells really nice. Safety works fairly well. That's a joke. And yeah, you can run it. It runs well. And it's accurate. That's a pretty tight pattern where I was shooting those clay birds. You know, we were, I don't know how many feet away, but that pattern hasn't even begun to open up. And the thing was spot on. And that was 00 buck too. That wasn't birdshot that took those out. But a lot of fun to shoot. And for 199 bucks, if somebody wants to come to the range and you can let them use it, you can bang it around. It's something you can stage, you know, if you have guns staged around your house for protection. You can put this, whatever, maybe in the basement or something, or a place where it's maybe damp a little and you're not going to worry about it. It does have an old little, what do you call these, weaver mounts or something, where you could put a sight if you wanted, but why? This thing works great. Wouldn't make a bad deer gun if you hunted with slugs. Really wouldn't. And it's nice. Got the old Uncle Mike's swing swivels, and it's about as basic as you get for $199. Anyhow, guys, what started out as just a video on this thing turned into kind of my history and how I got started in firearms, with my dad getting me that first 870. and I really enjoy shotguns. Each one of these has its purpose. I like the mag-fed guns, but I sure do like that Beretta, boy. I've got my side-by-side. By the way, that side-by-side is a CZ Bob White, it's called, and it's really nice for the money. I couldn't believe the price, and that shoots exceptionally well too. The only shotgun on my list that I'm going to add maybe will be a Benelli M4, just because, and I wouldn't mind a Mossberg, is it the A1, I believe, with the ghost ring sights. I actually had one purchased, and my background check got delayed on it, and it went so long I had to redo it again. I said screw it, and it was the only one I've seen around here. I hated to give it up, but I was done playing with that garbage. I mean, a lot of these stores, they won't deliver the gun even after the 3 days or whatever. So, and they were one of those stores, so screw them. They're not going to get my business. I'll find another one, and I don't know what happened with that background check. It just messed up. I don't know. I get delayed a lot, but never like that. I don't get it. Anyhow. Yeah, that's that. So from high end to low end, they're all fun. So hey, whatever is in your budget, don't be afraid, jump out and get one. We did that other story on that Black Aces Tactical with my buddy, and that safety was malfunctioning, not working. If you haven't seen that video, it says take a guy to the range or something is my video. Take a look at that video. The safety wasn't working. Thank God we followed all safety protocols. I was demonstrating something to him about how the safety worked and whatnot, and I actually moved him to the side. I pointed it down range. I pulled the trigger, and the first time I pulled, it didn't go off. The second time I pulled, I felt it click past it, and boom, and it went off. We did it multiple times. We proved that nothing was hitting the safety. We did it from the opposite side and everything clear, and it did it every time. The end to that story was he went back to the dealer where he got it, and they repaired it, and it's fine. Got it back to him in a couple days. But boy, what a mistake. You'd think somebody would check that out, huh? Specifically. So if you got a Black Aces Tactical, be very, very careful when you pull it out of the box and you're testing the function. Make sure you do it at a range outside or point it in a good direction. Anyhow, that's about it, guys. Thanks for listening to me babble. I'm sorry I turned this into a whole story, but I hope you guys at least enjoyed it. It's fun to go down memory lane with your gun and your family, and hunting events and different things. That's why we like these things. That's why we have them. It's not because we're maniacal individuals that like to, you know, death and destruction. No, we like memories and family, and we like to be able to share that. So I hope you enjoyed it. Sorry about me getting a little choked up there about my son, but I'm sure you all understand. Anyhow, thank you guys for all your support. Please check out our entire channel. Check out our Facebook page. We do have a website now. There's not much on it, but I'll get to it and start building that out. Let me know any videos you may want to see, and we'll be happy to put them together for you. Until then, we will see you soon. Check us out on Tuesday night when we run our live stream. And as always, Rockford Ordnance out.